G'day. So today I'll be doing the thermal pads on a 3060 version 1. And it's getting a little hot. So we got the 3060 59 degrees for 110 watts. And compared to all the other cards, that's pretty warm. So I'm just going to take note of all the temperatures are here. I'm going to do the thermal pads and see if I can also put a large heatsink on the rear of the video card. See if we can get those temps down nice and cool like the rest of them. Alright, so at my favourite place, the garage, and 3060 is behind here, so we're going to power it down, pull the card out, and check out these thermal pads. I realised the other day, when I was looking at the temperatures getting a little bit warm, I thought, man, this card's already a year old, or next month it will be a year old. So it's probably well overdue for a bit of a service. Alright, let's get this out of here. Alrighty, take the fan off. Now, I kind of just designed this thing so that I can pull the card up, out, rotate, and slide forward. So I'm just going to put the camera down and get the old 3060 out. Alright, let's have a look. Yeah, a little bit of dust on the blades. Not overly dusty. I find you don't actually get fluffy dust out in the shed, you know, like your home computer will get full of dust off clothes, whereas in the garage you just get this very fine film of dirt, really. Very fine dust. It doesn't contaminate the... I mean, this thing's literally been going for 11 months, 24/7. And that's all the dust and dirt that's in it. That's actually not too bad. I might do a video later of cleaning up my desktop computer. That thing, after 2 months, is just chockers full of dust. It's actually not looking too bad. So let's work out how to get the fans and the plastic shields off. And yeah, be right back. There we go. So I've just set it up now so that I can record it while I do it. So I'm just going to take that sticker off. No warranty void. Not too worried about. It's funny when you have cards for mining, you kind of think, well, as long as the card pays itself off, you tend not to be as worried if you're going to break something. Not that you'd want to break something, because they're still worth decent money, these cards, but yeah, if you take the warranty void sticker off and something happens, you know, it's not, the thing's already paid itself off, so I mean, it's not good, but you know, it could be worse, I guess, if it hadn't paid itself off. Let's have a look. You can see other screws. Oh, of course there is. Just those tiny little hex screws up holding that plastic backing plate on. I hate these plastic backing plates, seriously. I'd rather have no backing plate. How are we going to get that off? Looks like this is attached. Looks like the fans actually attach that shroud. Okay, let's get into it. Carefully in between the blades. Yeah, let's see, that's a little bit of dust. It's actually not too bad. Still going to take it out, give it a good wash and everything. Yeah. It's like, just looking in there, I don't know if you can see it, there's actually thermal pad. There's like a heatsink for the VRMs, a black heatsink. And then there's like a bit of thermal pad connecting that to the main heatsink. Which is a really strange way. I'd rather have that air go into that black heatsink. That thermal pad probably acts as a bit of an insulator in that case, I would have thought. But anyway, yeah. Let's kind of look at how this comes off. It looked like this chassis here was attached to the heatsink via those fan screws, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I can't see where that it's attached. This is like a sneaky screw somewhere. Huh. Can't actually see anywhere that it's screwed on apart from those 6 screws. Maybe I just have to be a bit firm with it. Feels like it's attached under there, but there's nothing actually attaching it. What's that? Is that a clip or oh, here we go. I just noticed little plastic tabs going down into the heatsink and tiny little screws. Alright, let's get you guys out. Oh, shit, just dropped that. That one. Hopefully I don't lose any of these screws. Alright, there's another one in there. There. Yes, undo the fans. One, two. There we go. There's a bit of dust and dirt on there. You could say it's dirty, but I mean, geez, that's 11 months of dirt. That's pretty good for 11 months. I can't see any leaking. Oh, yes, I can. The old silicone oil. It's all. Oh, yeah, there's actually a bit all leaking down the bottom there. It's the main reason I wanted to do this. I thought after 11 months, these thermal pads are going to be. Actually, they still look. Yeah, they're pretty soft. They haven't dried out by any means. Huh. What do I reckon? Shall I do them anyway? Let's do it anyway. Still want to look at putting a metal backplate on this. The trick's going to be doing it in a way that's not permanently modifying it. Oh, here we go. Just have to move my phone stand, which is my little screwdriver bits I'm going to need. What else can I use for the phone? That's probably not going to hold it. No. Okay, now I'll just get the right bits out. Ooh, just looking in there, I can actually see Zooming in. Nope. Cannot zoom in or out in this mood. Oh, too bad. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. I can't really see it on the phone screen. There's actually a big puddle of silicone oil from the heat pads. So yeah, I think we're definitely going to do those pads as soon as I find the one that fits. And my smallest one is too big. I reckon I do have... Yes, I do. I'll be right back. Alright, back to the work van. Let's have a look. Low use tools. There you go, I reckon that'll do it. Alright, so we're back, and I get my phone stand back. There we go. Alright, I'm going to find one of these bits. Perfect. Oh, I left the screwdriver in the toolbox. It's easy, got like a non-standard bit on the end. Let's see if I can use it like that. Hack's way. Oh, look at that one. There's literally this one here. Literally right under the heat pipe, so you cannot get to it. Yeah. What a dumb design. Geez, that's got to be intentional. The other ones aren't covered. Huh. I'm just going to go get the screwdriver bit, see if I might be able to do it that way. And that's part of it. There's the actual screwdriver part. I got that part, that'll do for you. Alright, we're back. I've got half of it. Jam it in there, jam that on there. Twist, there we go. Damn, that's bad. Sometimes just little flat blades will fit. That would actually be good if we could carefully get it out like that without scratching anything. Ah, look at that. Plastic washer on there. Knocked all my screws over. One, two, three, four. That's all right. This is actually not as bad as I was expecting. I think the worst video card I've ever done thermal pads and pulled apart for servicing was my GTX 1060 6GB Aurorus card. Insane amount of screws and like way over engineered. But gotta admit, the thing's still alive today. It's actually my game computer, so that extra cooling does help. Longevity and How there's screws under the heatsink. So that heatsink has to come off first. Okay. It looks like. Hang on. That's right. So that heatsink should actually come off now. Right. Let's have a look. I do not want to damage this GPU. Oh, look at that. Just using some tweezers as a lever and a bit of paper so I don't scratch the board. There you go, look at that. There you go. Oh god, those thermal pads are thick. They're like... Yeah, we'll come back to that, but anyway. Here's our PCB. Yeah, you look at that, you can tell there's bits of dry thermal pad on there. Just turn a light on, it's a bit dark. There you go. See the oil everywhere. Don't know how we're going to attach the heatsink to the back of it. We'll take it off anyway. Wish I had a lot more time and money on my hands. I'd like make like a custom body for these things. Keep them super cool. Looks like it's still... Oh, that's sneaky. Heatsink for the VRMs also holds the backplate on. I guess it's probably what holds the heatsink on more accurately. It's still sticky. Might even be able to reuse that. Although, doubt I'll ever pull this apart again, so I think it's just best to clean it now. And look at that. So that's not too bad. I'm just looking at the height of the components. I'll show you what my plan is for these boards. Yeah. No, they don't work anyway. Yeah, these heat sinks I got for a while ago. That's massive. So the plan is stick that on the back of there. Is that will get any residual heat off. The only thing is you gotta screw those in. It's actually a really small card with everything off of it. Alright. Anyway, let's get this stuff off. Use thermal stuff remover, purifier. Okay. Manufacturing defect on that. Alright, first up, let's get that. People use alcohol, but I don't know. Alcohol doesn't dissolve thermal paste. Notice this stuff, the Arctic Clean Thermal Material Remover, smells identical to this stuff that I've been using for years to remove labels. And I found out they pretty much work the same in getting thermal paste off. So pretty much just let it sit there for a minute. Look at that. You can almost reuse it, but I don't know. It's probably acidic, this stuff. I mean, based on oranges or whatever it is. Let's do it the cheats way. And where where's my container gone? I don't know. It's still somewhere out here. Oh, that's going to fall off. I'm going to do it somewhere else. That'll do. This is just a contact cleaner. Clean everything cleaner, I call it. Quick spray down. There we go. Done. Alright, bit of air in a can. Get all the spray from underneath the chips. There we go, it's a bit cleaner than before. Stick it in front of the other mining rig. Bit of a dryer. Alright, now we're going to get out a calipers. I don't know where my crappy ones are, so I just use my electric one. Okay. So what we're going to do now is just get the thicknesses of those heat pads. So if they couldn't have just made like a metal thing to extend it further. It's pretty lazy. Alright. .27, so 2.25. Gee, that's a really specific size, isn't it? Oh, they're probably... Yeah, that's 2. So these ones here are 2. These ones are 2. There's like a little middle lip there. Gives an extra 0.25 mil. Damn, that's going to be fun. Where else we got them? You can see that the thermal pad were along those. Along the 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Alright, let's see what the thickness these are. .15. That one I'm going to get rid of, because all it does is put one heatsink under the other. Or maybe I'll do, I don't know. I'm going to put this back plate on. Probably won't worry about it. .3, 1.25. Yeah. Alright, so 2.25, 2. What have I actually got? Let's have a look. Thermal Grizzlies again. 0.5. I don't think I have any in 0.25. 3 mil. 1 mil. 2 mil. Okay. I'll probably have to use 3 mil. Yeah. Hopefully thermal grizzly pads make a difference. Sorry if this is like a bit boring watching this. I'm kind of just always. Oh, look at that! It's like paste. Kind of just contemplate things as I go. I don't know, just scrape it off, I guess. What on earth is that? There's some like corrosion under the thermal pads or something. Yeah, these things are definitely leaking their silicone oil now. Flies off. Alright, yeah, so we'll use 3mm to replace that, I think. Alright, clean all the gunk off. Good thing is, I used to hate getting thermal paste off my fingers. I realised that orange off that I showed you before. It's actually really good at getting off fingers too. It's non-toxic, so it's stuff to use. It's like a. Just noticed there's like a plastic kind of gunk on there. It's like the thermal pads had some kind of adhesive on it that wasn't removed because it's there, but it's not. Oh, is it there as well? Yeah, it's there too. Look at that. That one didn't have any. So you know, you get thermal pads and you get like the stick-on stuff, or the thing that you meant to peel off. I think that's alcohol. Yep, that's not alcohol. Oh, what? Oh, it's vinegar. Where's my alcohol? Ah, it's in the blue one now. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it is like a thick plastic. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. There's like a thin layer of like plasticky stuff. It wasn't on those ones, so I don't even know if that's meant to be there, and I'm wondering if that's why I've never been able to get 50 megahash out of this card. I've only ever gone up to 47.6 has always been its maximum. And I noticed that lately, especially when the weather's hot, it won't get that high, so I have to turn the memory clock down and turn the power limit down in order for it to run stable. So that's kind of a telltale thing that its memory's starting to get too hot on Ethereum. So yeah, it's still, you can see that. Just trying to focus. Yeah, just around there you can see like a residue. It's actually like a stick, feels like a sticker, like if you peel a sticker off, there's like sticky gunk left behind, which is not good because that acts as an insulator, and that's not, you don't want that. I'll put a bit more of this on. Incidentally, if you leave this orange stuff on sticky stuff for about 5-10 minutes, it usually breaks it down, like, you know, like liquefies it, but I'm too impatient because I've got a window of about an hour to do this. that'll do. Alright, let's go give it a wash off. Degrease and a wash off. As I left that thermal paste on the heatsink for the VRMs, and it's just all falling apart. It's pretty gross. So just clean it after, I guess. Yeah, dry enough. Alright, give it a final clean up. This stuff. The old thermal pads falling apart where I pulled off before for the VRMs. Blowing out. There's a couple of chunks in there. Just clear those out. Yeah, that'll do. I need to wash these out too. How do I do this? Usually use water, but I don't know if I should. Look at that, it can't come out. Yeah, I remember how that goes. It's easy. White plug on the left, black plug on the right. which way's top. Okay, so on the side that has no text. Oh crap! Black on the right, white on the left. All right, let's go clean these fans and the shroud. Alright, it's important when doing this, make sure you don't get water into the motor itself, just clean the blades. So, let's go like this, I don't know if you can see that. Just washing the blades without getting any water into the motor, but also putting it at an angle so that if water does get in there, it'll rinse straight out. And done. Alright, now just gotta wait for these to dry, so just stick them out in the open. It's a bit of a breeze today and the sun's out, so it shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes to dry. Meantime, let's work this out. So it looks like the highest points are these caps on the back of the GPU. Yeah, just I thought there's a couple of bits there that's going to interfere. I don't know if I should just put the big one on there or what's standing out the most. Alright, I'm going to do I'm using little snippers. Snip those bits off. Make sure the legs don't fall on the board. Yeah. The other question is, how on earth do we mount this thing? I probably want to go about there. And so we'll screw the heatsink on, but then how are we going to attach that onto it? I mean, I know how to do this so it would be permanent, but I don't want it to be permanent. I only want it to be semi-permanent. If I ever want to sell this card and everyone's like, oh, why is there a big heatsink hanging off of it? What have you been doing? You know. Alright, let's see what the height is, so we know what thermal pads we need to begin with. $2mm, 2.03. Probably wouldn't mind getting some 2.5mm pads, that'd probably be good. What about those? 1.19, yeah, that's alright. So these things are 2mm high. Will 2mm thermal pads be enough? I don't like over 2mm thermal pads in the first place. I don't know, maybe I just leave the back of it off. So you have to put the thermal pads over. There's like little capacitors on the other side of where it is anyway, so that's going to raise the pads a little bit. You know what, I reckon we'll just use 2mm. Over here I'm a little bit worried though, I don't want those shorting out. Almost need like a 2mm spacer, just so the heatsink doesn't kind of move onto those and short them out. Ah shit, what to do? Alright, I suppose we need to find some 2mm spacers. I did have a heap of washers put aside for this, but I've lost them, of course. Ah, here they are. So if we find something like... Oh, I need these anyway for those screws. So now we just need something that's like a 2mm spacer. Let's see if these fit. Yeah, 2.06 or 2mm. Alright, so we can set these somewhere. Cut one in half. So we'd like to set one there. And there. That'll act as a spacer so that the heatsink doesn't come and short out anything. Yeah, I reckon that'll be alright, because that's 2mm, so it's going to be sitting between those, floating between those 3 points. So we might just get a tiny drip of glue so that doesn't move anywhere. So it's the tiniest little bit. Just so I can pull it off in the future, remove it if I need to. Glue everywhere. Make sure it's just on the PCB, it's not being raised by any tracks on the board or anything. Alright, I reckon that'll be right. One thing I'm going to do though, heatproof Teflon tape. I'm going to put some of this down to protect the components that do not want to be touched by metal. So you just looking around, just make sure none of the leads are touching the heatsink. These 2mm spacers are perfect for it, fortunately. So I'm pretty sure I cut them into 4s. So I'm wondering if I should put some more here and here, just to be safe. I think I will actually, just to keep a consistent spacing. These ones I will make a lot smaller. Also now it raises the next question I've been thinking about, is how much you're going to attach it. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. I'll probably make like a metal bracket or something. There we go. So we have 4 spaces, 2mm spaces. Just wondering if I should probably. I wish I could get like 0.25 thermal pads. I'd actually like to use 0.25 just to have a little bit more kind of contact pressure. When you've got 2mm thermal pads on a 2mm gap, there's going to be some spots that don't quite make contact that well. But yeah, alright. So now I've got to put it back together, except for that back plate. So I'm going to leave that off. So there's going to be oh shit, there's going to be quite a few screws that, damn it, that part of the back plate attaches the heatsink that goes on the VRMs. Of course it does. Gee, they're getting a bit, I can see the silicon in the wheel leaking out of those. I'm going to replace those as well. One mil. There you go, 1mm pads. Yeah, that's actually coming off as like a paste. Gross. So that goes on there and there. The screw goes from the top underneath. Ideally, we want to find some nuts that have that thread, but I tell you right now, I do not have anything close, remotely close. The other thing is, I wonder if I could wiggle it out of the fitting. Nah, it's in there pretty tight. Ah, shit. What am I going to do? It's going to go through there. We just cut it off, which I don't really want to do. Alright, I'm going to have a think about this and I'll be right back. Okay, so after scratching around to see if I could find any nut and bolt combinations that would fit through that hole, I decided just to cut those screws off and yeah, use those as the back. Not what I wanted to do, but what choice did I have, really? I could have found some small screws and nuts, but I really want to get this done today. I don't want to just put it back together and pull it all apart again. I've got enough crap laying around to work it out one way or the other. So I just need some 1mm pads. Alright. Scissors. What the? Scissors are glued shut. Yeah, okay. There you go. Oh look, and he goes from that there to there anyway. Stuff does not cut nicely. I usually use a knife. With that one, yeah. That's dodgy. No, I've got something to interfere with the heatsink. Oh, what's a bit it does, because you know nothing ever works out. Oh no, where'd that go? There it is. Ouch. This thing, I don't even know if this is going to work, because spacing is going to be too high. It's going to stop that heatsink contacting it. Why isn't it screwing in? Oh no, it's done exactly what I thought it would. The plastic tabs are holding it up. Yeah, about 3 mil in height too. Shit. What else can we do? And the problem is the holes are so small. If the holes are a little bit bigger, I've got heaps of things that can fit through there. So on this side doesn't matter, but what a pain in the ass. Shit like this always happens. Like, it never just works. Yep. Just gonna hang off. If I don't cover those, there's almost no point having it anyway if it's not going to keep the VRMs cool as well. Although when that heatsink's on, that had thermal pads on it before, pushing against the heatsink. So maybe if I put some thicker heatsink on top of that, it'd pretty much be held down anyway. Or I just put a chunk of thermal pad on each end so that the main heatsink pushes it down. Yeah, fuck it, I'll just do that. Alright, so I need some thermal pad for that. And 2 mil. 2 mil seems to be the most used out of everything. Order some more. This is, should be enough for this at least. Things that go conservatively. Alright, knife. chunk on that end, put a chunk on each end, and I just realised you can't really see what I'm doing. Useless video. So I'll sweep up all those bits of plastic later. And one there. So hopefully that heatsink will hold that on. Alright, now we've got to put this back on. So to do that, use NTH1. Just pretty blob in the middle. And it'll spread out. No worries. Alright, now the raised bit. These side bits were 2mm. And hang on. I just realised there was a thermal pad here. But there's only memory chips here and here. Good one, MSI. Plus you left the bloody one side of the sticker stuff on. Alright. So that there. Interested to see if I actually get better hash rate after this. Let's see. N bit. So those ones are 2mm. So the question is, do I use 3mm for that tiny gap? It's going to be a pain in the ass. 0.5. So yeah, I'm probably better going with 3mm, I think. Rather have it squash out a bit than not have quite enough contact, because if it doesn't contact, it negates the purpose of having it in the first place. The only problem is I don't have a lot of 3mm. For some reason 3mm is stupid expensive. That's all the 3mm I've got. I think it was only like a tiny bit more than that. What would it be going with? Alright. If we go, not quite. That's alright. I suppose if I have to, I can always mix 1 and 2mm thermal pads together. This stuff is so expensive. Oh, bit of dog hair or something in there. Expensive gunk. Oh, be curious. Yeah, I was saying before, I've actually got in my mind, I wonder if I'm actually going to get more hash rate after doing this. I might just put a little bit more. This stuff doesn't conduct, so it doesn't matter if you put slightly too much. Alright. Look at that, that heatsink is being pushed down just like I planned. push it through the holes. Yeah, you see good contact. Alright. Now I have to put those in. Actually, those are already got plastic. Usually I put like a plastic washer for those, but there's already a plastic one there, and there's already a plastic one on them, so that's pretty cool. Oh, is that the right one though? No, it's not. It's this one. That's right, there's already like a plastic thing. Should I use a spacer? It depends as long as it stays under 2 mil. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Let's have a look. It's a Phillips head anyway. Oh, this is something I didn't think about. Look at that. That's only going deep. I'm gonna have to drill some holes out under the heatsink where those oh, there's always something, isn't there? Things don't just fit. Just got those plastic washers there so it doesn't scratch the board. It'd probably be alright, but I'm gonna play it safe. This is going just as I expected. Things unexpected. Alright, they're nice and tight. And I'm just thinking about how I'm running out of time, which really sucks because if I don't get this finished, I'm back at work tomorrow. So it's not going to be until tomorrow night. Shit, yeah, tomorrow night that I actually get this finished. Alright, 4 screws are in. Excuse me. Oh, what's that doing there? Oh, you fucking idiot, Michael. We forgot to take the other screw out. It's alright. Phew, still get to it. What's that so it's tight? Don't get the little components. Sure, those microscopic capacitors and resistors do something. They're so tiny, some of them. You can barely see them with your eyes. All you gotta do is knock a couple off, and next thing you know, you've got an unstable video card. Yeah, it's pushed down right. So I'm just having a bit of a visual check over. Alright, so we've got to mark where those are. We'll work out where this goes first. Go for that. Where there's VRMs under there. So about there. I also want to make sure it clears all the sockets. And so about there. Alright, some paint. Actually, what I'll do is put some grease on there. So it's going to create a visual indicator. That's where I want it to go. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So what we do, Put a tiny bit of grease in each of these. So when we put the heatsink down, it will mark out exactly where I want my holes drilled. Line it up. A bit there. There we go. Got the markings for my 4 drill holes, as long as I don't mess those up. Alright, Mr. Drill Bits. Must be a clean one. A bit bigger than that actually. What's that, 9? We'll go to a 10. Oh yeah, that'll be big enough. Easy. Alright. Get a drill. Ooh, low battery. She'll be right, mate. Alright, I'm just going to put the camera down and drill these holes, because I kind of need 2 hands. Alright, drilled the holes. Now we've got aluminium filings everywhere, so that's just put it straight on the card. Going to make sure we clean all the aluminium off in the sink, give it a good rinse off first. Alright, so there's my 4 clearance holes. Just going to get a deburring tool, which I saw in here earlier. Quick deburr. Yeah, we've got aluminium filings everywhere again. That out very well. I'm starting to rush now, so pushing the corners slightly. Oh, fuck. I'm going to have to go wash this again. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, back again. We are quickly running out of time. Make sure there's no aluminium filings. Oh, look at that. Oh, you bastard. I can see the capacitor here is actually lifting it up slightly. Don't tell me I'm going to have to use 3mm pads. These holes are perfect. Yeah, I can see at least a 1mm gap. This side's alright. This side I'm going to have to use 3mm. And I've still got to work out how the hell I'm going to mount this thing. Pardon the French, but I haven't thought about that yet. And I've just seen a bit of metal. Better. Alright, so I suppose, so what are we going to do? It's only on, so there we can have 2mm, here we should go 3mm. So no big deal really. It's like literally the last of my 3mm pads there. Oh. And then again, there are those resistors and capacitors creating like a massive raised area, so yeah, I'll just do it like this. I'm seriously running low on time now too. It's 5:15. And I meant to start cooking dinner at 5. So I've started defrosting the food, hopefully got enough time. Not that the whole world needs to know that. Oh, what one's that? Is that? No, that's the 3, that's the 2. Ah, fuck. Whoops. Alright, that goes over there then. mil. Yeah, that's 2 mil. It's 3 mil. It's a bit of a dodgy job. Something's better than nothing, right? I'll put that there. What is that? Bit of shit. Oh shit. Shell's probably gonna be home soon. Oh no, shop's shut at 5 during the week. That's right. Shit. It's taking a lot longer than I expected. Alright, that's that done. And I did a big strip on there. Good thing is I've paid all my mining rigs off, so next payout I'm just going to have to get a heap of new extra thermal pads, I think, to do the rest of the cards. Cause, I ain't got enough to do them all now. Where is it? Just under there. That is so weird. All the capacitors are there for the RAM, but the RAM's not actually there. Right, there you go. Between that and that. So we don't. There's no point having any thermal pad there. Like, there's no RAM chips, but there was there before. So I don't know. Whatever. Shall I put on the bit on the GPU? Yeah, why not? A bit down there. Yep, fucking on metal and that. Where'd that come from? This is pretty dodgy. But fortunately these days I don't have time to spend an exorbitant amount of time to do this, so I'll just use the rest of this. Alright, so the pad's done. So now we have to put the shroud back on first. Let's go get the shroud. Tuck one right there. Crap, I have to come back and get dinner started and then come back to this. Alright, so dinner's on. Let's get back to fans. That goes down there, that goes in there. And there. This, I can't remember. I looped it back like that, so there we go. Let's put the fans back in now, since they don't actually hold the shroud to anything. Can't actually see what I'm doing. It's a bit of light. There we go. Almost there. So just before I went and put dinner on. And now we're going to stick the shroud back on. There's the plugs there. And I suppose the pads aren't really going to fall off. So just do it like this. Yeah. I never make these entirely easy. Because, we don't want people pulling apart our products, even though, you know, we pay for it. Man, that's tight. One. Two. And I've lost the screw. Where is it? There it is. There we go. Oh, that side's back on. Fans are spinning. Fans are plugged in to the right ones. Alright. Let's get this on. Looks alright, apart from, yeah, apart from those two spots there, I'm just going to trim those off. Get a little too close. Teflon tape. This orange stuff is like a high temperature kind of tape. Just put it across there just to play it safe. Shit, so we're going to clamp that down. It's going to be a trick and a half. Alright, work out how to clamp this down and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've decided the best thing I could do is cable ties. So I've put cable ties around the fins and then tied it through the PCB, and all I have to do is pull those tight to make them tighter. So I'll snip them off and use pliers to get the pressure right, and it should be good to go. Installed and back into the rig. Let's quickly get back together and fire it up. I'm excited to see if it's made a difference. Got the GPU in, going to plug the riser in, and there's not enough room between the heatsink and the riser. So I don't know, I think I've got an extension somewhere, but yeah, always these hiccups. See what I can do. I'd look around to see if I've got an extension or something. Griffin, do you mind?
I was trying to stand.
Well, that wasn't very smart trying to stand on that, was it? You've just broken it. Kids, man. So I'm going to have to break some of these heatsink fins off to make that fit, I think, which is a job for later. Just quickly, I've just marked the fins to take off, so I'm just going to take off this stack of fins, and hopefully that'll be the last hurdle to get past. Alright, I've just pried a heap of the fins off using a screwdriver, just putting it in between each slit and just folding it back and forth and off it pops. So I just gave it a rinse off to get any aluminium shavings off, so I'm about to reinstall it. Alright, so she's installed back in there now. Let's even see that. So I've created a little path there for the cable and the riser to plug into, so let's see if it fits. Ah, look at that. Beauty. Cool. Let's get it back in and fire it up. Hopefully it actually works. I haven't missed any metal shavings or anything. So let's see how we go. Alright, she's plugged in and turned on. So let's go inside and see if it made a difference. Get it fired up. So I'm just going to fire it up, get mining for about 20 minutes and see what the temperature difference was to before. Alright, I've booted back up into Type VNC remote desktop. And we've got 3070. Damn, that focus, it's really bad. 3060. Beauty, it's showing up. Make sure the temperatures look 27 degrees. That's idle, obviously. Alright, let's get it mining. Raven light. Yeah, you hear my dog in the background. Another dog walked past or something. Come on, what's going on? Alright, she started, so let's go for half an hour and see how we go. I'll just note too, before we do that, it's always worth to go into GPU-Z after doing this, just making sure your hotspots are normal, because if we've missed something somewhere, the thermal pad's not quite making contact, it'll pick that up pretty quick. Are we at 49 degrees already? It's going to take a while for that to warm up anyhow. I'm expecting a pretty good difference with this compared to what it was, 54 hotspot. Oh, hang on, which card's that though? Wrong card. Super, get it to 3060. Sensors. A bit slow. Yeah, 64, 51. Just make sure it doesn't go over 70. There you go. We'll, as long as it's not 90 or something ridiculous at the start. So we'll let that go for a while and see how we go. Alright, so a little bit cooler than before. 56 degrees. So 10 degrees differential from our 3070 as a comparison. So let's go back, see what the difference is. So I just did a before to after comparison. Looks like we've saved about 3 degrees. Not a big difference, but I wonder if I put a fan on that big heatsink, it may knock a few more degrees off. Anyway, that's something for another day. So there you have it. Is it worth it? Maybe. Howdy, just back quickly again. I previously noticed that after modifying the 3060 with that big heatsink, it dropped about 3 degrees. But I noticed that that heatsink was getting noticeably warm, so I thought, well, what if I put a fan on it, like that? You can see that. So that's just a little, I think it's a 60mm fan off of an old heatsink cooler. So having that in the center and actually having that move the air over those, the fins are quite densely placed, so I thought, well, maybe there's just not enough airflow over those fins to get the heat off, and that's exactly what was happening. So just having a fan on there, it's just plugged into the main board on the 3-pin header, is enough to drop the temperature by another 10 degrees. So I'll just show you quickly on the mining software. Alright, as we can see there, we've got 3060, 52 degrees, 3070, 53 degrees. So traditionally the 3060 runs a good 10 to 13 degrees above the 3070. So now, having a fan on that big heatsink keeps the temperature down the same as the 3070s. Which is good, because that means less fan speed and less electricity. And the hash rate's gone up too, 48.3, I think that's the highest that card's ever gotten. So there we have it, just an update. And yeah, so if you're going to put one of those big heat sinks on, always make sure you put a fan on there too. Alright, catch you later.